Welcome to the Prime Health Podcast with your host, Dr. Derek Barron with your host, Dr. Derek Barron. Dr. Barron interviews doctors, wellness experts, and healthcare leaders who are revolutionizing how we approach health and longevity. The Prime Health Podcast explores breakthrough science, personal and patient stories, and practical insights that are shaping the future of health and wellness. So sit back, listen in, and prepare to transform how you think about your path towards Prime Health with Dr. Barron and his special guest.
Welcome back to the Prime Health Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Derek Barron, and I'm here to bring you cutting-edge insights and practical strategies from leading healthcare experts for your journey to Prime Health in life and in business. So I want you to think about this. So many women feel like they're carrying everything alone. Today's guest, Sally Mueller from Womaness, wants you to hear this clearly. They see you, they hear you, and you're not broken. They are real women doing real work for other women who are ready to stop struggling in science. Now, before we jump in and hear more about her story and Womaness and as a whole company, I just want to give you a short episode information about our sponsor, Grow Solutions, where health and wellness professionals discover how to double their impact and income without doubling their workload. So whether you have issues of getting new patients or clients or marketing or growth strategies or looking to reduce operational chaos with proven systems and frameworks and SOPs, we're here to be able to help you, especially with implementing some AI. So whether you've heard or said this before, I'm too busy to grow, too slow to scale, or too overwhelmed to fix it, we are your solution. So just drop the word grow in below or feel free to reach out to me on any social channel. But you're here for a reason, and that's to hear Sally. Sally, welcome to the Prime Health Podcast, and please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you, Derek. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of Womaness, and Womaness is a company that we sell products that we formulated to really help women age well, and with a particular focus on addressing the symptoms of perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. So that's our area of expertise, and we wrap those products in educational information and community. Because as you said, we have noticed that women feel so alone during their menopause journey. Yeah. And that's starting to change because women are now more openly talking about it. And, when we launched 5 years ago, that was our mission, was to change the conversation around menopause and make women feel empowered and respected. And we just believe that women deserved better. So that's why Michelle, my co-founder, and I launched Womaness, like I said, 5 years ago.
Yeah, fantastic. I've done some research on the company online. It's fantastic. I know you guys are super busy in a 5-year sprint. You've done a tremendous amount for that. Now, I always ask, what got people in their career in medicine or in healthcare. Yours is a unique kind of a route. If you don't mind sharing us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Womaness is, I would say, my third pivot. I started my career right out of college, went to Madison for school, and Target headquarters recruited me into their merchandising program. So I spent 25 years at Target. Wow. I was a merchant for about 10 years, and then I spent about 15 years in marketing. And that was when I think Target was really on a path to differentiate. I did all the designer programs, all those designer relationships, helped, shape the marketing of the Target Bullseye itself. Oh, wow. It was a fantastic career. Yeah. When I was 45, though, I thought, I've kind of done everything I'm going to do here. And I was always an entrepreneur inside a large company, and I decided to leave and start my own consulting business. Okay. So in the next 12 years, I consulted. I also worked in-house at different companies. And towards the end of that time, I actually had a partnership with a company called Click Brands that owned some women's fashion and lifestyle brands. Okay. And it was a media company, and they wanted to extend into products. And so I helped the founders take one of their, fashion brands. We sold it into Target. It was a whole line of fashion called Who What Wear. And then we incubated a skincare brand called Versed, and it was all formulated using clean formulations. It was very ahead of its curve in 2018. when clean beauty was just starting to, grow, and everyone was talking about it. And so while I was working on Versed, I was going through menopause. So now at this point, I'm late 40s, early 50s. And I really struggled, but didn't realize what I was experiencing was menopause. I knew I was in menopause. I wasn't that in the dark, but I didn't realize like low libido, painful sex, sleep issues, anxiety, all of that was related to menopause. I thought it was stress. I thought it was working. And I'm sure everything is interrelated,
Sure.
but I eventually set up an appointment with a doctor that was actually knowledgeable about menopause, which is rare. We'll talk about that in, I'm sure, more detail. And she really made me feel not alone. And at the end of the appointment, she recommended products that I could get on Amazon along with hormone therapy.
Okay.
And I remember saying that night to my husband, these products are not good enough. And this is not any disrespect to her taste level or her research. It was what was in the market. This is 6-7 years ago. And I said, I want to disrupt the space. This is my calling. And Michelle, my co-founder, and I had been friends for a long time. We never worked inside the same company together, and we joined forces and started, this amazing, amazing company. Yeah. So that was the story behind why we wanted to tackle this space.
So it was kind of your own personal struggle. Yeah. I don't mean to put that word on you, but your personal experience that really said we need to do something different.
Absolutely. Okay. That was I would say the spark. And, even today, I was talking about why we started our company to my team. And it's so important to go back to the why. And it really, on days that are so hard, not like today, don't get me wrong, but, just in general, it's so hard to create a startup. Yeah. It really helps put things in perspective. And when you know the why behind why did I start this in the first place? And we are making such a positive impact on women and frankly, men too. And so we're really proud of that. We hear all the time from our community that we are making a huge impact on their lives. So
this goes back to that kind of statement that I said at the beginning. Your why for you personally changed your life, your husband's, I'm sure. It affected his mood and maybe the friends and family circle around you. Yeah. And I think because of your struggle and that reason behind your why is, like you're saying, it's helping so many others out there that from the women that I've had in conversation and podcast, yes, I'm married. Yes, I have a mother. I have a sister and sister-in-laws. And I guess I, as a male, didn't understand how much women were left behind in many avenues. So by your struggle and your why, you're able to let other people have that voice, other women to have that voice.
Absolutely. And now that we're 5 years into this, I think Michelle and I are astounded at how much we've learned. We work very closely with doctors in this space, and Mayo Clinic has been very helpful to us as well. There's some doctors there that have really done a great job educating us. And I'm shocked at the care gap that's out there. So many doctors are not trained in menopause. It's an elective in med school. And so I heard the other day, a stat that for every 30,000 women in menopause, there's one care provider that's trained and educated in menopause.
Oh my, that's a horrible number.
I know. And then there's a gap in research, and Dr. Fabian from Mayo Clinic really educated me about that and all the research that they've been trying to do to catch up with the research that's been done on the male population. Women experience, as you know, heart issues differently than men do. And, she's the one that said, we're not small men, so we have to have our own research. So it's been really incredible to be, on the leading edge of this movement and really creating a whole new category for menopause solutions.
Yeah. Do you feel as though this is a great time to be in the market for that? And I don't mean from a business perspective. I truly mean from the woman's perspective. Like, now that light bulbs are going off, you're creating an amazing product with your team and your partner. You're getting more physicians on board to understand, so you have more of a voice in this, but are there many more people there to listen to it as well?
Yeah, there's definitely a consumer.
Okay.
Women are craving products, answers. They don't know who to trust always. So a lot of it is just providing educational information that they feel that they can trust. So I do think we launched at the right time, but we're very early.
Oh.
And from a business standpoint, that comes with challenges because we've had to educate the retailers about this category. We've had to educate investors. We've had so much that we've had to take on just to educate people about this category and why it's needed. But the consumer gets it.
Yeah.
She does get it.
Okay. And I think from an overall perspective right now, our country as a whole and probably globally, people are waking up to that there's more in healthcare than just going to the doctor. And that's no offense to a hospital, no offense to a physician. There's more to it than life. And like when we talk about nutrition, doctors aren't educated on nutrition in school.
Right.
They're said, hey, drink a glass of milk for your calcium intake. And again, I'm not trying to pick on them, but that's not quite the way to go. So what would you say from a woman that's kind of sitting at home, they're not really sure what to do? What advice would you give them of, if you're feeling like this, or this, what could be some good next steps that you feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah. I mean, what we always tell women when we have a lot of events and we've written a lot of blogs, but we always say, line up your support system. Okay. And so that could mean a friend group that is, maybe gone through menopause or going through it. You're all going through it together, because you would be shocked at how much everyone knows or the trial and error they have experienced. So get start talking openly about it. Don't suffer in silence. And, your friends are there to support you. Also, really do find a good doctor that's trained in menopause, or it could be a nurse or a menopause specialist. It doesn't have to be an MD, so that you know what all the options are. Maybe you do need hormone therapy and you're kind of cleared to take that. So it's, we don't sell hormone therapy, but we're proponents of it. So we have a lot of content on our site about the benefits of hormone therapy. And then know what your options are. A lot of women want, maybe they're experiencing hot flashes, but they want to start with more natural products. And we don't call our brand natural, but we are clean. So we've used a combination of natural ingredients as well as clinical forms of ingredients. Okay. And, obviously our products are all safe and effective and hormone free, just because you don't want the added hormones, even though we're proponents of hormone therapy. So I think knowing what your options are, and I think some doctors do a disservice because they're only talking about hormone therapy. They don't talk about maybe supplements or the other vaginal moisturizers or other products that really help, with a lot of the symptoms. So, and women want it all knitted together for them. They don't want piecemeal information. Okay. So I think that's where we really believe that the content that we promote to our audience needs to be about everything, even though we don't sell hormone therapy, for example.
So by the content that you provide, is there a place on your website, and we'll share all of that information, but is there a place on your website where they can maybe look for an open network of providers?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have right in the top part of our website, it's it says the blog.
Okay.
We call it the nest, but it's a blog. Okay. All right. So there's a lot of articles there. We also have a private Facebook group called the After Party, which is basically a community of about 9,300 women that have just one by one joined. And it's great because women on that Facebook page, they really talk about their own experiences and tips. And you can go on there and say, hey, I've experienced this. What, does anyone have any solutions? And women jump in and, and then we've interviewed a lot of doctors, which is obviously part of our, the after party as well as the blog. So yeah, we really believe in providing, it's all free education, so I encourage women to check that out.
Absolutely. And again, we'll share the links to those if when we get that. So I guess a question I would have, Sally, is from a misconception standpoint. And again, I want to be careful how I phrase this. A woman going into her primary care physician saying, I'm having some problems. They're being told there's some hormone replacement. Yes, that's an option. And unfortunately, the early on studies said it's negative, which it's been debunked. That's not a problem anymore. Yep. So what are some of the misconceptions that women should say, okay, if I go to my doctor and I'm not happy, can you give them some ideas of what are some other things that they should consider? I know you said friend group and that, but like the misconception is my doctor has the answer. I don't think that's as true as much.
No. And we've heard from so many, events that we've attended or held, and just the feedback that I get a lot from our customers. Their doctor isn't always listening to them. So that is a misconception, right?
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but also they don't have the time to listen.
Yes, in fairness, they do not have the time. They have 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, no, you're totally right. And so I think, there's fantastic doctors out there, right? And it's just that every woman's journey is unique. And if you're in a doctor's appointment and you don't feel they understand or empathize with what you're going through, or they maybe say you're not ready for hormone therapy, but you really want to pursue hormone therapy, you need to probably find a different doctor. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 different doctor options before you land on the right partner.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of misconceptions, I would say. I think, I don't know if the average woman understands how many symptoms there are in menopause. So I've heard over 45, I've heard over 60. It's unbelievable how many different symptoms women can experience. So I think when I went through it, I thought it was just hot flashes. And that's why I was so in the dark, because I didn't realize all these other things I was experiencing were related to menopause.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. You said the word trust earlier, and I want to hit on that a little bit. You have your product line, Womaness, and some other aspects that you offer there. How do you express, or how can a woman that's looking for help understand that what you have as a product, they should trust in that product?
Yeah. I think women trust brands, and our brand in particular, because they're knowledgeable about ingredients.
Okay.
So a lot of women, and it's very easy to do research now on ingredients. Like, we have all of our ingredients on our site. You can pick up a carton, a package, and see all the ingredients. So a transparency is obviously been so important. But a lot of women know ingredients. And if they don't know, they're doing research. They're also going on the internet and finding out about these ingredients. So while we provide a lot of good ingredient information, a lot of people do their own research. So I'm really impressed with the average consumer, because she's knowledgeable about ingredients. Yeah. I think the other thing that they really respond to is the fact that we're women that have gone through this, and we've partnered with doctors early on to help create our products. We hired different experts for each product category. And, we don't reveal the names of those people, but we did hire those. Michelle and I were paying for those doctors with our own money to help us consult and like tell us what ingredients to stay away from or lean into. So, I mean, all of those, I think just being true to who you are and not oversell is how we build trust.
Okay.
You know, it drives me nuts when brands say, oh, this product is going to fix your sex life. No, it isn't. And don't go on Meta, Facebook and say that. But a lot of brands do. And it's, you know, it's frustrating because it's all clickbait.
Yep.
So we really focus on, you know, standing behind our products. We've done a lot of clinical studies too along the way. So we have those all published on our website, you know, and they're expensive. Those studies are really expensive, but they're worth it.
Yeah.
So we're going to do more.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, from a trust perspective, if you have studies with a cosmetic brand, a brand that's helping with women with their conditions and concerns, that's interesting. And I always say, what's a differentiator? How is Womaness different from other companies? I'm sure that's a big one by you posting online what that is. And can you had said another word earlier, Sally, that was called clean. Could you maybe explain a little bit more by what you mean by your products are clean?
Yeah, I mean, clean is now an industry term to describe a combination of lab-made ingredients and natural ingredients. Okay. And the lab ingredients really help with efficacy because sometimes if you use all natural, you're not getting the most efficacious product. So it's a combination of natural and lab-made ingredients, but all of the toxins are taken out. And obviously we have a very high standard in terms of ingredient profile. You know, we follow the EU standard, which is higher than even the US standard. Yeah. So, you know, we pass the Ulta Conscious Beauty program, and, you know, we put all of our products, you know, we're sold at Walmart, and we have to put all of our products through a third party, you know, basically platform to make sure that there's nothing in there that would not be clean.
Okay. So what would you say, Sally, would be one of your top products? You have one or two, three products that is always the go-to for what maybe you have too many, but do you have one or two top products?
Yeah. Well, we sell Skin and Body, and our number one product overall is Let's Neck, which is our neck and décolleté serum with a cooling rollerball. Okay. And, you know, a lot of women, I think, just almost reach a point in their life where they're like, I hate my neck. And overnight, it's like, oh my gosh, I have all these wrinkles. Well, wrinkles aren't bad, but you need to hydrate more. You don't have as many oil glands in your neck. Okay. And a lot of, you know, I'm 61, so a lot of my generation laid out in the sun.
Yes.
Think about it. We didn't use sunscreen.
Baby oil.
I know, in tinfoil. Let's Neck has been a number one seller. We have an advanced form of hyaluronic acid, which is great for hydration. So we're really proud of that product. But I think the other product that I'm, you know, always excited about is our Menopause. It's called Menopause. It's kind of a fun name, but it's our supplement for hot flashes, night sweats, and brain fog. Oh. And it has a form of clinical form of French maritime tree bark. So that's a natural ingredient that's been known to help with blood circulation. So it's called pycnogenol and has about 20 years of clinical studies. So we buy it from that company that sells it exclusively. Okay. And then we have a few other ingredients in that, but pycnogenol is the hero ingredient. So.
Okay. Sounds like two great products. You do a great job of naming your products as well.
Yes.
Little brand.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, we wanted it to be taken seriously. Yes. But we also didn't want menopause to be too scary, too medicinal. Yeah. You know, so all of our products there's a little bit of cheekiness to the names, but then there's serious information. Sure. Yeah. Right. And all the packaging is beautiful. So you're not embarrassed to have it sitting out. And, you know, it's just, it's just life. So
it sounds like you're very proud of your company.
Yeah. No, it's been
Good.
great.
Yeah, good.
We're proud of our, everything we've done, and we have so much left to do, but that's part of being in a startup atmosphere.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. 5 years in, successful, tons of testimonials that are due. So is there any success stories that you could share with us that you know specifically from utilizing your product?
Yeah. For me, the success stories are when women say to me, thank you for creating this company. Like last night, I got together with one of our customers here in the Twin Cities, and turns out she and I work together at Target.
Oh, really?
So we haven't talked in like so long, and we had such a fun night. And she sat down and she said, first of all, I want you to know I'm so thankful that you created this company. No one would say that for a fashion company, right?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Maybe. But what we're doing is so meaningful. So I think it's all of that, one by one, women telling us that they love our products, or they love our blog. They love the company at large. They feel safe. They can relate to us. They feel heard and seen. And that to me is the best, success that we could have.
Yeah. I love it. It's fantastic. So you've had great success so far. What would you say is the vision of Womaness in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, well, we want to scale. We're still a small company. And because we've been, really at the forefront of this, it's taken a fair amount of capital to get to this point. So now we're really trying to scale the business. And a lot of it comes down to just, making sure that we are reaching more women. So that's why the marketing is so, so important, and how we're telling our story. Because when women hear about us, they love it. But a lot of women still don't know about us. So our vision is to, continue to offer great products. We're, really focused on the categories that we're already in. So, we have supplements, sexual wellness, and skin and body. And we want to keep it very streamlined, so women aren't overwhelmed with, too many choices. It's like each product has its purpose. And we believe that you don't need, 15 products in your skincare routine. You probably need 3 to 4. That's how women actually, unless you're like a complete beauty junkie, you don't need that many. So we're trying to keep it really simple so that, we're not overwhelming women.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's good. Simple is better, I think, in so many aspects. Complicated makes things complicated.
Right.
Really, that sounds like just in medicine isn't always your best medicine. So if we cut back from that, Mother Nature has a few things to offer us to help improve. And it sounds like your company, rolls with that mission standpoint.
Yeah.
So I'll share all the links that we can, but if there's some women that have been watching or listening to this, or if there's some men that want their partners or wives or family members to be associated with, how would you like them to learn more about you and your company?
Well, I think the best way is our website, womaness.com.
Okay.
And, but we'd love for your audience to follow us too on social media, Facebook and Instagram, and we're on TikTok because we have to be. LinkedIn too is a really good place. I publish a lot of different educational articles too, that really, I think if your audience is really, focused on like women's health and what's happening, or midlife, that's a good, place to check out, because I'm constantly publishing information.
Good.
So.
Good. Love that. Love the LinkedIn. It's a great place for great professionals and others to be on it. So it's, I'm sure you share it across all platforms. So that's great. 2 last questions here, Sally, before I let you go. First one would be, if you could give one piece of advice, and I'm 100% cool sharing this towards the female population. What's one piece of advice you would suggest every woman that could advance her health in a positive way? What would that advice be?
Well, I'm speaking for myself because I haven't always done this, but it's do something active every day.
Okay.
I mean, just even if it's just taking a walk or walking on the treadmill or pickleball or something, I know I dramatically feel a dramatic change when I do that every day. And when I don't, I start to get sluggish. Even just worn down. You're almost more tired when you're not doing it. So I think for, a woman's longevity and even a man's longevity, it's really good to do something active every day.
Okay. Love it. I appreciate the advice.
It's so simple, but it's so hard to do when you're working.
We have to schedule it. So put it in your schedule that from
I know. I agree.
Yeah.
And it's okay. What I've been doing is I do schedule it, and I have a trainer that I see once a week, and she's teaching me how to weight lift, and I go during the workday. Good. And I just put it on my calendar, and it's like a meeting.
It energizes you and your body, and that allows you to do better at work.
Right.
Really
right.
Instead of waiting the end of the day or on a Saturday to take time away from my free time, it helps you to do that during working hours to improve upon that. So congratulations. Good for you. Good for you. Last question here, Sally, you're on the Prime Health podcast. What would your definition of Prime Health be?
I think, I'm an 87-year-old mom. So I think it's feeling good all the way up until you pass away. I mean, if you can, my dad was, he passed away suddenly, but he felt pretty good all the way to the end. So it's, obviously we can't control that. And, but I just think that to me is the definition of like prime health is I lived a good life and I still felt pretty good even in the last 5 years of my life.
Yeah.
What you don't want is to fall or, be wheelchair bound so all of the, and we talk about this a lot in our blog, like all the steps that you're taking in your 30s and 40s and 50s really do shape those later years. Like, weight training and walking and taking time for your own self-care. All of that really helps prepare for those later years. So.
Yeah. It's important to enjoy our lifespan. When we're young, we have fun, but at the very end, you still want to be able to enjoy that time around family, friends, and whatever it may be. So great advice. I appreciate it. Sally, I really want to thank you for your time. This has been wonderful.
Thank you.
It's good to connect with a Midwestern person. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank
you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've heard one thing that you think is share worthy or two or more, please do us a favor and especially Sally a favor. As you could hear, there are more women that need to get this information in their eyeballs and in their ears and to be able to share it as well. So if there's one thing that she said, please do share that just with that one friend. Of course, we would love you to share it with as many as possible. But if we can change it with one person, one step, whatever it may be, that would be great. Selfishly, I always say share the podcast. I'd love for more subscribers as well. But as I always say, until next time, remember that true wellness is a journey we are all on together. Now, whether you're taking charge of your own health or guiding others in theirs, every step forward matters. So please do stay committed to your Prime Health journey. And again, Sally, thank you very much for being a guest on the Prime Health podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much.